Record. There we go. Get the recording started. And trying to find my confirmation. Uh-oh. Let me see if I can send her a link real quick. So maybe make it a little bit faster for her to get in. Copy invitation. Oh, so many tabs on my computer. Luke, do you open like 1 billion tabs on your computer?
When I'm doing these webinars?
Just in general.
Well, I usually do, but before I start one, I close them all out so I don't get confused.
Oh, that makes it way too easy. I like jumping through hoops.
Yeah.
All right, so we're down to 20 seconds to go time, and we'll see if it works out here. Well, I'm glad you all made it this morning. So is this time decent for you, Natalie, and Roger? Is this all right? Or
Yes. Yeah, it's fine.
you're on your phone, Natalie. How's that working out?
I'm like 5 minutes away from my house, but it's working out well. I mean, I can hear really clearly.
Okay, good, good. All right, so we are going to go over this in just a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and new share. All right, well, I wonder if I can hide these. There's a way to hide these. So if I try to do this full screen thing here, it actually, there we go, slide only. It wipes it out and I can't use my controls and things, and I hate that. So we're going to do it this way. So working through the process. So welcome everybody. So this is the VP, because Viva Purpose is the name of my company, my team, and then Top Agent Referral and LUMALLIE training. And so hopefully we'll be able to get you more equipped and more prepared to build your business, grow your business, and really get things started. I'm really excited that we're kind of taking things to that next level. I want to get really not one-on-one, but a group. I want to work as a group here to just strengthen the team as a whole, everyone's efforts, and see where we can help each other out and kind of synergize together. So make sure I do have the chat open. You can put some questions in the chat if you have questions as we go through. I do want to hear as well some feedback. You can send me an email or a message or whatever. I do want to know, hey, Sandra, glad you made it. I do want to hear back on what areas that you would like to get a little more attention to, things along those lines as we go through the process. Screen is fuzzy. Has everyone else got a fuzzy screen, or is it just me, or just Luke? Anyone else fuzzy?
It's only the LUMALLIE website, because everything else is clear, so it makes me think it's everyone, but maybe not.
This is why. I'm sorry, you're on the wrong. You should be here. Now do you see my training screen? Oh, no, it didn't do it. Hold on. Let's just do that. Desktop.
Okay, it's clear
okay,
now.
Now it's clear? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. So Top Agent Referral, LUMALLIE, and this is me, Viva Purpose. This is my team. Each of you have your own team name, but this is mine, and so I got it little. So this is similar to you know, Procter & Gamble has Old Spice, and they have Oil of Olay and all those different things. I don't ever talk about Viva Purpose, but because you're on my team, that's why it's there. So that's what that is. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, will it let me? I think it doesn't like the way I'm presenting here. 1 second.
I'm excited. What are
I'm
you
excited too.
Learn?
Okay, here we go. So starting with number 1, it's your business. It's time to take ownership. So you like this, insert yourself here, choose wisely. So this is your business. It is going to be whatever you make it. So if you think of LUMALLIE and Top Agent Referral like a franchise, if you were to buy a McDonald's, you can have the worst McDonald's ever and no one's going to come to your restaurant. Or everyone can come to your restaurant, but you've got the tools and the backing of a great name behind you. And it's the same thing with any of those franchise types of opportunities. You have Top Agent Referral behind you. You have LUMALLIE, which has a great compensation plan as far as for building your business. but it is your business, and you need to take ownership of your business. Your business will only be as good or as bad as you make it. As much as you put into it, as much as you invest into it, is what you're going to be getting out of it, is going to be how powerful your business is for you. And so you really do need to think about this as a business. We have such a low buy-in, such a low startup cost, that it's very easy to take it for granted and not understand the power and the resources at your disposal. And so it is your business. It is time to take ownership. And so make it your own and treat it like a business. And so part of that is get into some resources. And so this is a book that I'm actually listening to on Audible, and I encourage you. There's a ton of resources out there. We post them in the group chat quite often of different things that we're doing to develop ourselves. There's tons of outside resources as well as inside resources to build your business. And so constantly learning, constantly be growing, find ways to succeed. So this gentleman here, Brian Carruthers, he built an empire. He built a huge multi-level marketing business. And he talks about the 3 ingredients required to succeed. And those are having a burning desire. So this goes back to, in your new member packet, one of the first questions we asked was, what is your why? Because your why is what drives you. Okay, so why are you doing this business? Why are you even trying to build a business? Why are you trying to work online or from home? Why are you trying to earn residual or passive income? What is your why? So have that burning desire, work on that why, and really stick firm to that. And maybe you need to revisit that from time to time and say, hey, life has changed a little bit. Now I just need bail money for my bad child, and get them out of jail. Or, now I want the flexibility to take my wife on a cruise because she's really giving me a hard time. I don't spend enough time with her. Whatever that burning desire is, make sure you grab your why and have that as a burning desire every day and really focus on that. Being coachable. This is number 2. We try to reinvent the wheel. Now, I've done a ton of businesses in the past. Luke has also been in several businesses in the past, and I'm sure many of you have also been in other businesses in the past. So being coachable is very, very important. In this business, you don't want to try to reinvent the wheel. You may have some great new ideas, and that's okay. And you can sometimes try and work with those. This is your business. Going back to it's your business, it's time to take ownership. I'm getting a little bit of feedback here from somebody, I think. Not sure who that is, but there's some music in the background. I'm not sure if you got music in the background. Maybe throw a mute on. Oh, it's not me. Oh, I think it was George. I think I just muted you, George. If you need to speak, go ahead and unmute yourself, but that helps me out. All right, so being coachable, listen to the people who have gone through this before. Don't try and pave your own way. You'll just fall into a lot of pitfalls that other people have probably already gone through. However, new ideas are not a bad thing, but just run them up to your coaches, to the people above you, the mentors who've already gone through the process. All right? So that's number 2, is be coachable. And then number 3, be willing to work. And this is where 90% of our people fail. Like I mentioned, there's a very low buy-in on this business, and so people don't put the effort into it that they should. And we're going to talk more about that as we go through. But being willing to work, if you don't work the business, it will fail. It doesn't matter what business you're in, but this business is no exception. If you do not work it, it will fail. Okay, and so that's the thing, is you have to be willing to work it. And why you're willing to work it is because you have that burning desire. Okay, so another thing I've taken, this, by the way, is in the first chapter of this book. You can do this business. It all starts with a belief, okay? Oops, can you guys see that? Or did it take it off? No, it screwed it up. All right, so I had this fancy presentation, but it's not going to work the way I wanted it to. Sorry about that. But you can do this business and win. It all starts with a belief. You have it, then you can have confidence, okay? You need to have confidence. Without confidence, you cannot influence people, and influence is what moves people. And we are in the business, we are in a people-moving business. So we move them from potential buyers and sellers to working with the top agents and being closed transactions. We move people from being prospects to being members within our business. And so we need to move people and compel them to take action. And so in order to do that, we have to be able to influence them. In order to influence them, we have to believe in our service that we're offering through Top Agent Referral and our business that we're offering in LUMALLIE. So those two things you got to believe so you can influence and move people. So where do we start? You have your new member packet, you filled it out, you got your top 20 people that you're supposed to contact. Maybe you've already contacted them and you're already moving on to more people, reaching out and all those things. These things, a lot of people are like, I struggle when I try to talk to people about the business. I've got the scripts, I try to follow the scripts, but it's not coming off natural and things like that. So my answer to this is answer the questions. There's always these same 6 questions: who, what, where, why, when, and how, right? In life, if you can answer these questions, you can talk intelligently and smoothly about everything. And then when you apply those scripts, it'll make a lot more sense and it'll come a lot more natural. I'm not going to go over the scripts because they're in the actual training that we have, and you can find those in our Facebook page or through the emails that Lucas sent you. But I'm just kind of going to go a little bit more in depth. So BNS is buyers and sellers, okay? So when people ask who, actually, I'm going to try one thing here. Okay, nope, I don't like this show navigation. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to, there we go. Let's do it this way. Okay, do you see this screen okay? Everyone got it?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, so it just says who, right?
See.
Excellent. Okay, so who? When you're talking to a buyer or seller, first question is who. And so the who is the buyer and seller or potential referral partners. This is everybody you talk to is going to either be a buyer and seller or a referral partner, okay? This is if they're not getting in the business. We're going to get to that in a second, but everybody you talk to should at least be a buyer and seller or a referral partner. So that's your who. Your what? What are we talking about here? We're talking about protecting their greatest investment, their home. We're talking about getting the highest price on their home sales, and we're talking about getting the best deal on their purchase. So that's the what. What are we doing? What is the purpose of this business? Protect the client's greatest investment, get them the highest price for the home sales, or the best deal on their purchase. How? How do we possibly do that? So this is very easy. We connect them with the Top Agent Referral, which is a free, no obligation service. And how we do that is we go through our personalized website, right? Then you figure out your where. This is very simple. All 50 states in the US, including Alaska, shout out to Sandra, and Hawaii. We don't have a Hawaii yet. I challenge everybody on the call to go get me somebody from Hawaii on our team. All right, and then when. When is now or whenever they're ready to get the best deal and service. And because that's what we're offering is the best deal on their home and the best possible service, right? So if you can answer those questions very clearly, if you can get those into your mind and say, okay, who everybody I talk to is either going to be a buyer and seller or a referral partner, and this is what I'm going to offer them, and this is how I'm going to offer it to them, and this is where and when. If you can answer those questions, your script is always going to circle back to that, and it's going to circle back to this top agent referral being in the center of that question. All right, does that all make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right. Yes,
it.
good. All right. So that's for buyers and sellers because everybody you talk to is going to, fall into those categories. Buyer and seller or referral partner, people who are going to refer business to you. But don't wait to build your team, okay? Don't wait to build your team. And so this is the deal. Everybody wants to make money now, but not everybody is ready to buy or sell now, right? They may be not in a position to buy or sell their home. Maybe they're still rebuilding their credit, or they just bought their home and they're happy with it. But everybody I ever talk to always wants more money. So start building your team now. So approach them as a business prospect. Every prospect can then become a referral partner. And this is why. Once you've shown them the business and you've shown them what Top Agent Referral does, they already understand that we're connecting them with the top real estate agents, why they should connect with the top real estate agents, and that it's a great service that we're offering them. So even if they say, you know what, this opportunity isn't for me, they know what business you're in, and they know the service that you're offering very in depth. And so it's a great way to even introduce what you're doing to people is say, you know what, let me show you what I'm doing for income. And by the way, you can make money too. And if not, I need referrals. So please refer me business. Second thing, third thing, passive income takes time to create. Start now. You're going to find out as you start recruiting people, you're going to have people who do work and who don't work. You'll notice on the call right now, we have just a handful of people. We have 6 total people, including myself. I have almost 20 people on my team. Luke has several, right? Sandra has 4 people on her team. So it's going to take a while. You're going to have people who don't do very much work, or they're slow starters and it takes a while for them to get involved. You're going to have people who are trying to out there bang it out, yet it's going to take a little bit of time to really get their feet and to really grow their business. Start now. You don't want to wait until 5 years from now to go, oh, okay, now I think I'm ready to recruit. Go ahead and start recruiting before you believe you're ready. And it's very, very simple. You invite them to the webinars. We got one immediately following this training. Luke has a webinar. I sent a post in the Facebook team earlier with a link that you can register for those, register your people for them, or give the presentation yourself if you're comfortable. I don't know too many people yet who are comfortable giving the presentation themselves. If you are, outstanding. That is great. But if you're not, invite them to a meeting, and it's actually almost better because that third party is more credible. They know you, they have a relationship with you, and you may have some credibility on your own, but they have the social proof of seeing somebody else. And on these webinars, the more people we get on the webinars, the more social proof that is, the more energy is created, the more of a frenzy there becomes, and it's a lot easier to convert your prospects to members by getting them on these calls. And by the way, you can go to both Luke's and mine. You're open to go to either one, and they're both a different experience. Luke has a great presentation, but it's Luke's style. It's the same information presented, packaged a little bit differently. Mine, same information presented, packaged a little bit differently, but it gives a different feel. And so sometimes if you have somebody on the fence, they've seen my presentation, maybe say, you know what, why don't you take a different look at this from Luke's? He does it a little bit differently, and maybe they'll get something else out of it. So use the webinars. These are tools, they're live events, and it's a great way to engage your prospects. Also, don't wait to build your team. Review the compensation plan. Go back and look at that. This is one of the slides from it. It's a very easy one, but look at that compounding effect of as you build your team, having just 3 people on your team, and those people getting 3 people, and those people getting 3 people. Open the PDF and see really the potential. This goes back to your why and being really engaged in your why and a burning desire to build your business. If that doesn't motivate you, the income potential in this business of building a team, if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what's going to light a fire under you, because it's super compelling. All right, the potential is enormous, and the efforts of many greatly outweigh the efforts of the few. So it's the only way you're really going to get financially free is to start building your team, and so do it now. So, prospects, what do? You go back and you answer the questions just like you do if they're a buyer or seller, but it's a little bit different perspective. So, who are we talking to? And that's anyone wanting to generate flexible and passive income. So, virtually everybody you know wants more money, and they probably want to do it very flexibly, right? So, anyone is who. What are we offering? An opportunity to own their own business where they control their schedule and earning potential. A great way to do this is just ask them, where do you want to be in 10 years, in 20 years? And in your current position, are you going to be able to get there? So most people want to have the flexibility to live a life where they can get income and they aren't tied to a desk or out in the field working, swinging a hammer or whatever it is. They don't want to do that forever, and they don't see a way out of it. They're trapped in a rut. You're able to offer them another opportunity where they can grow and build passive income and escape the trap, the rut that they're in. So that's what this business offers. That's what you're offering, is an opportunity to own their own business and control their own schedule and earning potential. How can they do that? through a personalized website, connecting people to top agent referral. Exactly what we do. Where? Anywhere with phone service and internet, right? So Luke is going to Europe next week, and he's going to be doing a couple of presentations from Europe, still growing his business. Now, you don't have to work on vacation, but he is trying to ride the wave. He's trying to continue the momentum of his business. He's got some great things going for him. He doesn't want that to stop, so he's going to continue to do a little bit, not a lot. He's going to do part-time. So anywhere with internet or phone service is the answer to that. When is now, or whenever they're ready to get started, right? So that's another thing. Whenever they're ready to get started, don't give up on somebody just because they shut you down right now. There are so many people that 6 months from now, a year from now, are going to look back and go, you know what, you're still doing that thing? Hey, I want to take another look at that. What do you do? I don't understand how you're making that work. So don't give up on them. Put them in kind of a slow contact bucket and get back with them later. You don't want to force anybody into the business, but don't count them out just because they say no. No means not now. All right, just take it that way. And then the last thing I have on the slide here today is take action. Start before you're ready. So I use the idea of this lady trying to learn how to ride a bicycle, and I know the pixel's kind of the picture's pixelated, but when you learn to ride a bike, I can talk to you all day long about balance, about brake control, about engaging the pedals, about steering. I can talk to you till I'm blue in the face. You can be so knowledgeable about it. You can know the laws of physics and how they apply to the bicycle. You can know how to tear a bike apart and put it back together. But until you get on that sucker and try to ride it, you're not going to learn it. And you're probably going to fail. And you're going to fall over and over again until you just start doing it. An old pastor I used to listen to or sit under, he said, you can't steer a parked car. Actually, he said, God can't steer a parked car. But it's the same thing. If the car is not moving, not in motion, you can't correct your action. You can't say, okay, well, I'm doing this wrong. You're not going anywhere. Start moving. Don't wait until you're ready, because you're never going to be ready. You have to get out there and start talking to people. You have to start introducing the business to people. You have to start asking people if they're buying or selling a home. If you don't talk to them, they aren't going to know about the opportunity, whether it is connecting with Top Agent Referral as a buyer or seller, or as a member and growing the business. So take action before you're ready. You are better off making a mistake and then fixing that mistake than you are taking no action, because that is actually the greatest mistake you can make, is just to sit there, let your investment of joining go by the wayside, and just letting it go. Your business will fail if you do not take action. Get on the bike, start riding it, work it out. I was talking to Sandra earlier this week, kind of giving her some pointers on how to talk to some cold calls. And she said, you make that sound so natural and so easy. And I said, it wasn't like that. I talked to Luke about this. Luke, tell him what it was like when I started making my calls. It's okay. I can take it.
Bad. Very bad.
Terrible.
Maybe the worst.
I am not a salesman. I know it sounds like it now, but I am not a salesman. It was painful. It was rough. I would hang up the phone, and Luke would just shake his head and hold his head and be like, Steve, what are you doing? He would say, you don't ask them, do you know anybody? You ask them, who do you know? And so I would be on the phone, and I would be trying. I'd be like, do you know anybody? Who do you know? Do you know anybody who? And then I finally got it to start with who, and I'd start with, who do you know? Do you know anybody? And so I would just switch it, and I still would go back to, do you know anybody? And so it's much more powerful, by the way, if you ask, who do you know? It gets them thinking of people. If you say, do you know anybody? The immediate response is almost always no. So do you know anybody interested in this business? No. Do you know anybody wanting to buy or sell a home? No. Who do you know? Their brain already starts thinking, oh, Jim, Sally, Bob. They start going through names in their head. So that's a little Luke Meyer tip for you there. Who do you know? Not do you know anybody? So, but
and then being quiet and listening.
Exactly. I wouldn't shut up. I would talk prospects out of of joining. I would talk buyers and sellers out of using Top Agent Referral. So shut up and listen. Exactly. All right, so that is actually the end of the presentation. I do have on here, be sure to follow up with your sponsor in case there's anybody lower than, like not right under me. If anybody under Sandra is on the call, then they can, or watches the replay, they can follow up with her as well. But follow up and let us know how we can help you out. But at this time, I'm going to open it up. It's 10:24. I don't want to go past maybe another 15 minutes or so because I want to get on to, I want to get a fresh cup of coffee and onto Luke's call. But do we have some questions, some things that you want to discuss on the call here, things we can help out with?
I'd like to say thank you, Steve, for putting this all together and being willing to train all of us. It's great. Love it.
Anytime. That's what I love doing. I just want to build stronger teams. I just want to build a great business here. And so your success, my success is dependent on your success. So I need you to be successful in order for me to be successful. So Natalie, what do you think? You're awful quiet.
Yeah, this is our first time, so I was just listening to get a feel of the business, like how I can be successful. But I'll follow up with my sponsor. I'll email him just to see when it's, a good time so I can, talk to him one-on-one. But I just got a good feel from today's conference call.
All right. So, Natalie, what is your biggest challenge in talking to people today?
Well, I don't really have any challenges. It's just like how to get started. It's like a train. Your engine is warmed up and it's just to go. So it's just like I want to start off running. So just some steps on just how to be successful and just how to start off really well.
Okay. So running starts with a step. So that's where you start. So that's where you start, is just open your mouth and start talking. That's where you start, because you're going to get better at it the more you go.
Okay.
Right. Sandra, what do you think? What do you think about getting started here? What are you struggling with, or any tips you want to give Natalie, or? I get stage fright, which makes it hard to converse. Yeah, so keep at it. Excellent. Yes, definitely keep at it. Sandra, with the stage fright, are you better one-on-one with people? Is it that you have trouble speaking in groups, or are you more comfortable in groups and struggle with the one-on-one? She's responding through the chat, so give her just a second. I will tell you guys, I do much better in a group setting than I do one-on-one. It's starting conversations. So here you go, Sandra. Starting conversations. The most common conversation starter when meeting somebody is, what do you do for a living? Another one is when you talk to somebody, how's it going? Well, if you can then segue in with, how's it going? I just received some great training, or I just worked on this great project, or I just talked to someone within the business. If you can link it back to something that's happened in the business, or what do you do for a living? And you can start, I connect buyers and sellers with the top agents in their area. Now, I will say I am learning more and more to not overshare, to give little nuggets and shut up and listen, as Luke likes to remind me. So don't just try and make them drink from a fire hose. You want to give them just a trickle so that they want more. All right. But adding income to your household or your family, do you keep your options open? That's an excellent one, Luke. That's a great one to ask. So that's a great conversation starter right there. As far as getting someone into the business, that's perfect. So that's something, maybe we could start putting some things in the Facebook group. I think, Luke, do we have a conversation starters training of any kind or scripts?
I like to keep it really simple, and I posted this in there last week. And this is the number one question. I think the only question that needs to be stated to anybody and everybody, because they're going to say yes or no. Most people will say yes, direct them to the webinar. If they ask another question, if they want more information, it's very simple. It's in the post. You just say, the company's figured out a way to pay non-licensed people like real estate agents. Are you interested? If they want more, then they need to go to the webinar, because you can't answer any more questions. That way you don't actually have to do much. And you just, when it comes to adding income for your household, for your family, do you keep your options open? And then you just filter them. Everyone that says no, oh, I help buyers and sellers make the most amount of money. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a home?
Right.
So
Excellent.
it's either yes or no. They say no. You ask about who they know that's looking to buy or sell. They say yes. You direct them to the webinar. So just keep it super simple and just sort.
Cool. All right. And then Roger says you have a good lead that gets
I can't turn this up anymore.
Ah, I got you. I hear you now. All right. So Roger, a good lead in that gets warm calls to listen. Warm calls, are you talking about people that are in your circle of influence, people that already have a relationship with you, or people that are just interested in the business? What exactly, define for me what you mean by warm call. All right, I'm not seeing that. Hey, Luke, do you remember what that post was? Where that post was in the group? I was trying to find it.
The one that I posted that I was just talking about?
Yeah. Did you have a graphic with it?
No, I don't.
Oh, right here. Oh, no, this is a different one.
It starts with tell everyone you know, and everyone is in full caps.
Do you see this?
Oh, and warm calling for sell by owners, he's asking.
Oh, okay. So lead in, we have the scripts on that within the group. And so by the way, this on September 20th is when, going back to what Sandra was asking about and what Luke was just commenting on there, on September 20th in the group, we have the, oops, here, new share. I don't know what's shared right now, but it's not the right thing. So it should be, do you guys see the top agent referral here? Resume share. Oh, there we go. Boom. Do you see it now? The Facebook?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so this is the post on September 20th that Luke was talking about, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, and then Roger, if you go into the units here, under the cold calls, there are the scripts. And with that, it's basically walks you through exactly what to say and how to say it. Now, going back to the training that we just did here, if you know your who, what, where, why, when, and how, everything that they say is going to be kind of go back to answering those questions. And it's all in this cold calling and for sale by owners. Where is it here? And actually, if you watch the video of this guy right here, this is actually a decent video, and it really shows you how that works. But this script right here shows you cold calling script. Calling about your home on blank. Is it still for sale? Okay, so just follow this. Is a great way to get started. And then from there, it's just answering their questions. But this is the big key right here. This is where I really, really struggle. And I don't shut up and listen, and I don't give time for them to talk. And so the more they talk, the more effective the call is going to be. And so make sure you really slow your speech way down and really listen for them. You want to kind of mirror the feeling that they have, and that really helps them engage. And so if they're being very slow, you need to be very slow as well, especially if you're calling, people in the South are a lot slower than people in the North generally, as far as their speech. or people from California. People from Colorado obviously speak pretty fast too. So you just want to kind of mirror that. So if you're calling in an area where people speak very slowly or whatever, you really want to follow that. But on these calls, leave space for them to answer and ask questions. That's where I really fail. Anything to add there, Luke?
Well, I can. I see a way bigger benefit in people asking the question when it comes to adding income to your household for your family. Do you keep your options open? Instead of going for the cold call, which a lot of people default to that because they're more afraid of talking to people they know. And so they feel like they're going to have, I think they just do it because it's easier. The reason I'm saying this is because you make a cold call and it's great. Let's say you make $1,000 when they convert after you take the survey. But think about, for instance, I brought Steve into this business, and instead of asking Steve that question, when it comes to adding income to your household for your family, do you keep your options open? Steve said yes. And so now, if I would have spent that minute or 10 seconds cold calling somebody, let's say I would have made that $1,000. But I chose to try to build my team because now I have this passive income. Steve's building a team. His team is going to do way more than one cold call at a time versus me just getting back on the phones. I just strongly encourage the team building over the cold calls because it's for your future. And most people that are doing this business are not, their reason is not to have another job. And in my opinion, cold calling is like another job. Building a business and building your team is setting you up for your future. And so I would strongly encourage, if you want to do cold calls, great, but do it after you're bringing people in. Like if it's something extra, but I would just really focus on building your business and not cold calling. That's just my 2 cents.
Excellent. So the other thing I would like to add to that is some people are like, well, I don't have a big circle of influence. I have been in Costa Rica now for almost 5 years, and I've lost contact with a lot of people. And I started trying to go back and contact them, and I have reconnected with many, and I've been more successful with that than I thought. Yet at the same time, I have exhausted everybody reaching out to everybody. But that's not where it ends. You can continue to add new leads, new contacts to your prospect bucket just by everybody you meet when you're standing in line at the grocery store, when you're pumping gas, whenever you're doing anything, when in the chat rooms online. It doesn't really matter because we are in all 50 states nationwide. And so unless you're talking to somebody from a different country, there's a good chance that they could get into the business too. And so you can apply the same thing of when it comes to adding income into your household, to your family, you're keeping your options open. There are countless resources out there to access people who are looking for other opportunities, other ways to make money. A lot of people are looking for a second job, a third job, something to do on the side, a side hustle. Side hustles are very, very popular right now. You will probably be more effective going after people for prospects, finding prospects, than you will cold calling for sale by owners. For sale by owners is great. Don't get me wrong. It is a great way to go. But as far as building your business and really maximizing your income potential, finding people who are interested in growing a business, you're going to make more money. And so that and the other thing goes back to, like I mentioned in the presentation, every single one of those people can become a referral partner. So it's not necessarily who you know, it's who they know. And so for each person you can get as a referral partner, then it's however many people they know that might be buying or selling versus you. And so converting people into referral partners is going to be way more effective than you're just trying to hit people who are buying or selling, cold calling. I've done cold calling and I have been successful at it, but not nearly as successful as building the business. and getting people referrals and getting everybody that they know that I get onto my team, everybody that they know, and then another person on the team and everybody they know. And so that has a much broader reach than calling one by one, if that makes sense. Got it. Perfect. All right. So I've pretty much asked everybody individually. It looks like we're getting 20 minutes to the call. Any last questions or anything anybody wants to cover? All right, so here's what I would like you to do for homework. I want you to write out who, what, where, when, why, and how, and complete those questions for yourself. See if you can do it without any prompting, without any tools or resources to remember what it is that they are, and answer those questions. If you can answer those questions, then you are doing great. So who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you can answer those, you should be able to do your scripts great. So just practice that, and that'll get you more and more comfortable. And the second thing is find somebody, anybody, at least one person to get on the webinar before our training next week. All right, so I'm going to email out, I put it in the Facebook group. I'm also going to include it in the follow-up email with this recording. The schedules for Luke and my webinars. Your homework is get at least one prospect onto those webinars by next Friday. And that'll help you grow your team. I also want to get some feedback, so send me a message, respond to one of the emails or something, and let me know if there's a special area of training that you want me to go into next. I have kind of a game plan in mind, but I'm always open to suggestions, and I can steer the car certain different ways. So give me some feedback on what's going to help you be more successful in your business. Next week, I believe I'm going to start working on customer relationship management, and so keeping track of your contacts so you can make sure you're following up, because follow-up is essential in this business, and making sure that you maximize all those leads and you don't let them just fall by the wayside. So I think that's what I'm going to cover next week, but give me some feedback on what it is you feel is going to help you build your business, where you feel like you're lacking or hitting some roadblocks. All right. And I look forward to speaking to everybody next week. Hopefully we'll see you on the call here in about 20 minutes, because I refine my presentation. I learn every time I go and watch Luke's presentations, and it's just a great place, great way to support everyone in the business, as well as to develop your own skills. So make sure you get on those webinars whenever you can.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. No problem, Luke. Signing off, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Have a great week.
You too.